Splendid. Right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Antony Carpen here at the Lib Dem temporary HQ for the general election for Cambridge South Cambs and South East Cambs, and we've got a regular visitor who has come back to these parts, and this is Sal Brinton.
Hello.
Hello. Now, you used to be a councillor here many years ago.
Yes.
So what was it like back in those days?
Well, being a councillor in Castle Ward, you always knew that you were in the heart of Cambridge, the town, as opposed to the gown. And the history there was something that particularly interested me, whether it was stories of the old prison at what was the castle and is now Shire Hall, or even the Roman remains that there were around Castle Hill. There's always this feeling of history, but it's the town's history, it's not just the gown history as well. But obviously, as a councillor, it was very different to most councillors' experience because a large percentage of my electors were students or the fellows living in colleges as well. And actually, that required a very different way of campaigning and working. But I loved that. I worked in colleges, so I absolutely, it fitted in with my daily life as well.
So what were the big issues or the big events that took place during your time as a councillor then?
Well, I think the biggest emergency we dealt with was a prowler in the colleges, and partly I was bursar of a local college at the time, Lucy Cavendish, which was also in Castle Ward, but also as a local councillor I immediately went to talk to the student unions and the affected colleges, and working with the police and with advisors from the council and with the college authorities, we were able to give students very specific advice on how to look after themselves and look after each other. And I'm pleased to say that the individual was caught and removed, and there's nothing serious as the Cambridge rapist, but we moved very, very quickly to get the student body involved.
Now, you later went on to stand for Parliament on a number of occasions. We're in the middle of a general election campaign, so what's it like being a candidate in the middle of a storm such as a general election campaign?
Well, I think that your description of it in the middle of the storm is right. I always used to say that you hand your life over. Everybody else tells you exactly what you're doing from the moment you get up to the moment you go to bed. The diary secretary, people helping you with your casework, sending you back out onto the streets to knock on doors again, to go and talk to your supporters and find more help, all of those things. And it's a complete whirlwind. Time never moves so fast as it does for a candidate during an election. And this last week, the anxieties and hopes all really become focused on what's going to happen on polling day. And I always used to find that on that last Thursday before the election, a new adrenaline would kick in and it would just surge you right through until the result was announced at whatever hour on Thursday night or Friday morning.
Now, obviously the Liberal Democrats took quite a big hit in 2015. And we've now got a snap election almost less than 2 years later, or around 2 years later. Big opportunity to repair some of the damage that was done?
Yes, absolutely. And we're seeing that in the seats where we were really strong before. So both in Cambridge and in South Cambridge, we are really seeing a very, very strong surge back to us. A lot of people in Cambridge have been saying, I've been knocking on doors, we're so sorry that we lost Julian, who was a brilliant MP, and that's much of our campaign is reminding people of what he did when he was an MP. And that's happening true elsewhere across the country.
At a national level, how much pressure does that put you under now that you're party president?
I sometimes describe myself as the parliamentary candidate for the whole of the UK because I'm touring around an awful lot of seats. I actually love it because I'm actually out on the streets with our candidates, seeing what voters think about Lib Dem policies and about the chance of our candidates in those areas. And that's absolutely at the heart of what it is to be president of the Lib Dems.
And also the Lib Dems have very deliberately raised have selected a number of women in winnable seats this time around, perhaps on the back of criticism that there are not enough women in high-profile posts. Who, certainly as far as you're concerned, are the people to watch out for, potentially, in this campaign and in the next Parliament?
So, Jo Swinson, who was a minister in the last government, I hope she will retake her seat. Christine Jardine in Edinburgh West, Daisy Cooper in St Albans, where she is doing really, really well. We've got Lisa Smart in Hazel Grove, Vera Hophouse in Bath, and a string of others, and Sarah Olney, obviously in Richmond Park, who won the by-election famously just before Christmas. So we have a very good cohort of women in our top seats who are coming through again, and I hope that we will see them on our benches and that our percentage share of women in Parliament will be significantly better.
And final question, the Prime Minister called a snap election, and quite a lot seems to have happened between when she called that snap election and what's happened here. What's been your observation over what's changed over the past few weeks?
I think the biggest thing is that Theresa May's honeymoon has just completely evaporated. The announcement on the social care changes, what's being called the dementia tax, but actually it also affects people with long-term conditions, younger ones as well, has really shocked traditional Conservative voters. It's not what they expected, it's not fair, and it's certainly not what Andrew Dilnot proposed in his commission. And I think that really has been a game changer. And I also think that she isn't as accomplished a media performer as we had hoped that she would be, and that's also important.
Okay, Sal Brinton, thank you very much.